Welcome back, boys and girls. Wow, a lot has happened. Kingsley and Steadfast, his friend and brother, had entered vainglory. That was one of the most dangerous parts of their journey, and they were hoping to pass through quickly. But the prince's servants noticed them. Sometimes when you're doing the right thing, it draws attention from the people who don't understand why you're standing up and doing the right thing. So in the next chapter, we'll see Steadfast and Kingsley already beaten and thrown into a cage in the middle of the marketplace. The town, everybody in there accused them, mocked them, and tried to force them to give up their beliefs. But the boys stood firm. Will they continue to stand firm, or will fear overcome them? Let's go find out in chapter 28.
Mayor, we have come to present
See
our
you
cause.
there.
Go on.
Chapter 28. Is this the end of Steadfast's pilgrimage? The next morning, the boys were dragged from the cage and taken once more before the mayor. This time, the judge was present. He hated the king's servants almost as fiercely as he loved his own prince, and he took grim satisfaction in punishing them.
Court is now in session.
But his anger burned hottest toward Steadfast. The boy's composure during the ordeal had unsettled him. He had wanted tears, screams, and curses against the good king and his son. Instead, Steadfast stood tall. Bound though he was, he stood firm and tall. And it seemed that the more cruelty they hurled at him, the straighter his back became. The more lies whispered about him, the more clearly he resembled his king. The judge ordered the young pilgrims to be brought forward. Their hands were bound before them. The courtroom hummed with hostility.
Where have you come from? And why have you stirred up trouble in our town instead of passing through in peace?
Steadfast opened his mouth to answer, but before he could speak, a boy named Deceit rose from among the crowd.
I know them. They came from Babylon. They preach destruction. Steadfast himself said the good king sent them to warn us that ruin is coming upon our town because of our wickedness.
A murmur rippled through the court.
They dishonor their king. They are quarrelsome and disobedient. They speak judgment, yet they themselves are wicked.
Then others rose, one after another, false witness after false witness. Each accusation fell like a stone, each lie stacked upon the next, until the air itself felt heavy. Kingsley could hardly breathe. The lies pressed against his chest like chains tightening with every word. His young heart pounded wildly. It felt as though the truth was being buried alive before his eyes. But while Kingsley trembled, Steadfast did not. With every falsehood spoken, it seemed he grew taller. His shoulders straightened, his eyes shone with quiet fire. The more they tried to crush him, the more he reflected the image of his king. When at last the accusations ceased, Steadfast stepped forward.
May I speak to our defense?
His voice sounds different. Could it be the cold night air and the pain we endured all night that caused his voice to change?
Kingsley thought to himself. He was dragged back to reality as the courtroom erupted in protest. But from among the crowd came another sound: shame. Several boys who had taken part in the cruelty now felt the weight of their actions. Their voices rose above the chaos. Let him speak!
Okay, I will allow it.
Reluctantly, the judge gave leave. Steadfast stood, bound, bruised, yet unshaken, like Stephen, the first martyr. He spoke of his God and King. He spoke of the King's goodness, of his love, and of his life upon the earth, how he had shown mankind the right way to live. He spoke of the mercy extended even to those who mocked him. Then his voice grew firmer. He spoke of the prince's wickedness. He spoke of cruelty. He spoke of how the evil prince had slain the good king's son upon the cross. The courtroom exploded. Shouts of
We cannot
rage filled
speak
the
about our
air.
prince like
The prince's servants cried out for death.
Oh no!
The world around him blurred. His thoughts could not keep pace with what was happening. He was tottering on the brink of collapse. Because his hands were bound, he could not seize Steadfast as he longed to do. But he pressed himself against him with desperate force, clinging as though sheer will might keep them together. Steadfast lifted his bound arms and drew them over the smaller boy's shoulders. The ropes bit into his wrists, yet he tightened the embrace. For a brief moment, the chaos faded.
Be brave, Kingsley. It seems my pilgrimage journey is about to come to an end.
No! No! Please, God, no!
Kingsley's cry tore through the courtroom.
Be brave, Kingsley. Do not hate them. Do not let this turn your heart from serving our good king. Be strong. God has not forsaken you, nor has he forsaken me. I am not afraid to die for the king. I will see you in the kingdom. Keep up the good fight. Remember what our prince said. Be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. And do not fear those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather fear him who is able to destroy both soul and body in hell.
His words echoed. Then darkness overtook Kingsley, and he fainted. When he awoke, he was back in the cage, alone. For a time there was commotion in the town, hurried footsteps, distant shouts, restless movement. Then gradually, life returned to its ordinary rhythm. Doors opened and closed. Voices resumed their casual tones, as though nothing happened. All day Kingsley lay in the cage, staring at the empty space beside him. Every sound made his heart leap with fragile hope. Surely they would bring him back. Surely this could not be the end. But the space next to him in the cage remained empty, and Steadfast never returned.